Marcus had spent 3 weeks rehearsing this moment in his bathroom mirror. He had practiced what to say, how to laugh casually, how to not mention his 7-year-old daughter. Lily, within the first 5 minutes, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? His best friend Derek had given him a whole coaching session about it.
Don't lead with the dad thing, Derek had said.
As if being a father was some kind of warning label. Marcus had nodded along, but the truth was, Lily was the first thing he thought about every single morning, and the last thing on his mind every night. Leaving her out of a conversation felt like trying to describe the sky without mentioning blue. Still, he had put on his nicest shirt, dropped Lily off at his mother's house, and driven to Rosario's Italian bistro, with sweaty palms and a heart full of cautious hope. It had been 2 years since his divorce, 2 years of school lunches and bedtime, stories and crying, quietly in the kitchen after Lily fell asleep. 2 years of telling himself he was fine, that he didn't need anyone, that he and Lily were a complete team. But loneliness has a way of whispering even when you try to ignore it. The date had been arranged through a mutual friend, and all Marcus knew about her was that her name was Claire. She was 34, she worked as a graphic designer, and she had warm brown eyes in her photos. That was enough for one evening. When Claire walked into the restaurant, she was even more beautiful in person, wearing a simple green dress and a smile that reached all the way to those warm brown eyes. They shook hands, then laughed at the formality of it. And just like that, the nervousness melted away. They talked about everything. She loved hiking. He had once gotten completely lost on a trail and had to be guided back by a park ranger, which made her laugh until tears formed in the corners of her eyes. She had grown up in Portland. He had grown up in Denver. They both hated small talk but were clearly very good at it when it actually mattered. The pasta was excellent. The wine was just right. Marcus found himself leaning forward across the table without realizing it, hanging on every word she said, genuinely fascinated by her. This was going well. Really well. Better than he had allowed himself to imagine. Then the conversation drifted naturally, the way conversations do when two people are truly comfortable with each other, toward deeper territory. Claire had grown quiet for just a moment, swirling her wine glass lightly, and then she looked at him with an expression that was both soft and braced, like someone who had been hurt before and was learning to be careful. "I should probably tell you something," she said. Marcus felt his stomach tighten slightly, the way it does before news you don't know yet. "I have a daughter," Claire said. "She's 5. Her name is Iris. I'm a single mom." She paused and then said the words that would stay with him for the rest of his life. "You can leave." "I'm a single mom. I'd understand." She said it so matter-of-factly, so quietly, that it broke something open in Marcus's chest. Not in a sad way, in the way that a window breaks open and suddenly a room that was stuffy fills with fresh air. He stared at her for a moment, and she was watching him carefully, waiting, already halfway prepared for the apology and the polite exit that she had probably experienced before. Marcus set his fork down very slowly. He looked at her directly. "Claire," he said, "I wasn't going to mention this tonight because someone told me not to lead with it, and I've been following that advice for the last 2 hours. But I have a daughter, too. Her name is Lily. She's 7. She currently has 17 stuffed animals on her bed and insists that all of them have feelings and must be properly covered with blankets every single night." Claire's mouth opened slightly. Her eyes went wide, and then she laughed genuinely, fully, in a way that filled the whole corner of the restaurant. "You're serious," she whispered. "Completely," Marcus said. "And I want you to know something. The fact that you have a daughter doesn't make me want to leave. It makes me want to stay. It tells me that you know how to love someone more than yourself. It tells me you're real and brave and that your life means something. That's not a reason to run. That's actually the most interesting thing you've said all evening, and you've said a lot of interesting things." Claire looked down at the table for just a second, and when she looked back up, her eyes were shining in the warm light of the restaurant. Nobody's ever said it like that before, she said softly. Maybe nobody understood it properly before, Marcus replied. They talked for 2 more hours that night, about co-parenting and sleepless nights, and the guilt that never fully goes away, and the love that never fully lets you rest, about school plays and fever scares and the particular kind of pride you feel when your child says something unexpectedly wise. By the time they left the restaurant, they had already made plans for a second date, one that both Lily and Iris might eventually be part of. Down the road, when the time was right, Marcus drove home feeling lighter than he had in years. Lily was already asleep when he got to his mother's house, her arms wrapped around her favorite stuffed rabbit. He kissed her forehead and thought about how the very thing he had been told to hide had turned out to be the most important bridge between 2 people who were both just trying to find their way. If this story touched your heart, please show some love to Kindness True Stories by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, because every story shared. Here is a reminder that kindness, honesty, and love still exist in this world, and they always will.